goals, dreams, vision, passion, all of these things are essential and are necessary, especially once we understand that the Lord is speaking to us. But none of these things matter without a plan. Do you have a plan? What's up? Happy Friday and welcome to the Faith Unbuttoned podcast. I'm your host, Pasto K. We are an extension of Never Alone Christian Center, a virtual ministry my wife and I launched in the summer of 2021. Make sure you visit our website at neveralonecc.org. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Never Alone Christian Center. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and comment, share, DM messages, email us. Just connect, because we want to be a part of your life. We also want to let you know that we love you and we are continually praying for you and your family and your success in life. All right, now that the business is out the way, I certainly hope that you guys have had a marvelous and fun, healthy, productive week. I'm always excited about Friday because for me, it's the end of the work week. But all that means is that Saturday and Sunday is filled with family activities such as basketball, football. Last week we went to Sky Zone, dance, whatever. So it's always something happening here at the Wiley household. And I also enjoy those times. But there are times when I like to sit back and relax and rest. But you guys know the Faith Unbuttoned podcast is one of my passions because it gives me an opportunity to just come down to where the rubber meets the road. And we just talk about everyday relevant issues that are applicable to the life of those who love Jesus Christ and who are striving to live a life that in their faith. Okay, so we left off last week. We did a 3-part podcast on the subject matter. Jesus, is that you? And during that particular subject matter, we were talking about understanding the voices that speak to us, be it the Lord, be it our will, be it Satan, be it external influence. And if you missed those podcasts, it's cool. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel and hit the playlist for the Faith Unbuttoned podcast to grab those, because everything is flowing from our theme of the year, which is kingdom thinking. But with that, for the year, for the ministry, all the teachings and stuff and the podcasts and the conversations are going to be geared around the mindset of kingdom thinking. And it's no different with this podcast because so many people want to know if God is speaking or if they're being led by the Lord. And we discussed that for 3 weeks. And so today we're going to move into our new podcast, which is all connecting knowledge. And in our new podcast, if you've been following us on social media, you know that the topic is, do we have a blueprint? Do we have a blueprint? In other words, do we have a plan in our lives? Okay, depending on where you are in life. If you're in high school or college or graduate school, or maybe you're in your career, you're a parent, you're married, you're unmarried, wherever you're at in life, your plan may vary. But if you want to be productive in life and lead a life toward a life of success, then we have to have a plan. And every stage of life requires different planning. For example, when I got married, that was a different stage of planning for me as a man, becoming a husband. When we had children, it was a different stage of planning to become a father. When I got into my career, a different set of planning. When I was in college, a different set of planning. But it all had goals. It all had a direction that I was traveling in. So I think a lot of times as Christians, we want God to speak, and he does speak. He begins to give us instructions on life. He begins to lead us and guide us. And then we think that God's just going to give us a very meticulous roadmap and step by step. And what he does is he leads us in a direction that we should go. But he gives us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the people in our sphere of influence to help us get to where we need to go. And that comes with planning. Okay? So tonight we want to talk about creating a blueprint, having a plan for a path in your life. Okay? Now don't get all deep on me and and super spiritual. That's not what we're trying to do tonight. We're trying to be very, very basic tonight and get started on something in life. So many young people I talk to, when I say young, I'm speaking of the ages 13 to 30. Okay, that bracket have no plan, have no direction in life. And I think a lot of that comes down to maybe they haven't been taught how to develop a plan, or maybe they don't have the desire to push into a plan, or simply they don't, or they may have a plan, but they don't know how to execute the plan they have, or their plan, in all honesty, is unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Okay? So the blueprint or our plan for life has to begin with a plan. Okay? We need a plan. We need a plan. Now, when I say a plan, what am I talking about? Let's be real, use a real generic definition here. It's a scheme or method of acting. In other words, action. What action are you taking toward preparing yourself for college? What action are we taking towards preparing yourself for a career or your next path after your academics, be it graduate school? What plan is in place? What plan are you taking if you're seeking to be married, or seeking to have children, or seeking to purchase your first home or your townhouse or rent an apartment? What plan is in place? What actions have we physically done? Passions, dreams, goals, announcements are all good, but they do not help us develop a plan. We have to have a plan that's real, and we have to have a plan that we can execute. Okay? I was listening to a pastor on social media. I think Pastor Mike is his name. I want to say he's in Alabama, but he was saying that social media has become a place of announcements. I can't wait to do this workout. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to start this degree. I'm going to do this. We always are making announcements. Announcements are great, but announcements without any action and without any plan, or just announcements just going to fall to the ground. They're deadlines that are never going to be met. They're goals that are not going to be reached. There are dreams that are not going to come to pass. There are passions that are going to go dormant because they're just announcements. Okay, let's look at a simple concept of a building. Okay, you can drive by a piece of property and it'll have a sign out front saying coming soon. It'll be a sign in the ground with a picture of a house or a building. The trees are still up. The property hasn't been cleared at all, but they're letting you know something's coming. They're showing us a finished product, a finished home, a finished neighborhood before anything is even taken place. They've already finished what they're going to do. And that's how God does. Before God starts something, he finish it first. Then he goes back to the beginning and brings it to the finish. That's how our life is. God has already finished everything he's going to do in your life. He already had the finish line for you, just like he has for me. Now he has come back to the beginning. He's with us, and he's trying to take us to the finish line. This is why God already knows what's going to happen in your life, because he's already finished what's going to happen in our lives. It's up to us to stay with God and work the plan to get to the finish line. So now you have this property. There's a sign out front saying coming soon. They have blueprints. They have where they're going to put the sewer lines, where they're going to put the utilities, where they're going to lay the wood, where they're going to build the house, where they're going to put the roads. They have all of these things in operation, and nothing has taken place on the property at all. But the plans have already been made. You say you want to be a doctor, okay? You don't wake up and go to med school. The plan has to be in place when you're in high school and middle school. I need to make A's, B's. A's are preferred. B's to get to the right graduate school, to get to medical school. I got to study. I got to sacrifice. I might not be able to hang out with my friends. I might not be able to do this. A plan has to be in place. Okay? Well, Pastor K, I hear you talking about a plan. You know, I hear you talking about action, but I just don't know what to do. Well, cool. Tonight, we're going to look at a few items that can help us develop this plan. The first thing we have to do is we have to define an end goal. What is the end goal? Where are you going? You want to be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be a beautician. Maybe you want to go into mortuary science. Maybe you want to, become an athlete. Whatever it is, you have to have an end goal. What is the end goal? You have to have that. Have you listed any steps to be followed to reach this goal? Have you done anything as far as physically writing down, I need to do A, B, C, D to reach this goal? You say, well, Pastor K, I don't have time for that. Well, I say you ain't trying to reach no goal. You're not trying to build your blueprint. You have to make time and put together a plan for your goal. Once you have your end goal, once you create your steps that you want to follow, now you have to prioritize the task and add deadlines. And this is where a lot of us get stuck. We have all these goals, we have all these lists, we have all these planning boards, we have all these vision boards, we have all these strings going to goals and attachments, we have all these marvelous ideas, but we don't prioritize the task and we don't add any deadlines. Well, I want to start a business. It's 10 years later when we made that statement. You had all these goals, vision boards, plans, ideas, but we did nothing to prioritize the task or create any deadlines. Well, I want to start a business. Okay, in 6 months, I want to have that business with an LLC. In 12 months, I want to have a location, or I want to have a website. I want to have social media platforms running. I want to be marketing. I want to do this. Whatever the goals are, you have to set deadlines. And this podcast is for anybody who's in a place in life and they're trying to get somewhere, but they don't have any goals. They have a vision. They have a passion. They have a calling. God has spoken. You know God is speaking to you now, but you've put nothing together. God said start a church. God said you call a pastor. God said you do this. You've done nothing to see God, to see where, when, how, who, how much, etc. Set milestones. Set milestones. I got 50 followers. My next milestone is 100. I got 100 followers. My next milestone is 200. I brought in $100 of revenue. My next milestone is $200 of revenue. My next milestone is 500. Set milestones. And planning. Identify the resources needed. Now, you may not get all this in just one podcast. You might have to play it back and write it down. But if you're serious about your faith walk, growing and developing, not only in your Christian walk, but in life, because this podcast is more than just being a Christian, loving Jesus, and going to church. This is a podcast to make our faith relevant to everyday life. In everyday life, we're trying to create goals. We're trying to fulfill our visions, our dreams, our passions. In order to do that, we have to have a plan. Okay, so I've given you 4 things. Define the end goal, list the steps to follow, prioritize the task and add deadlines, set milestones. Number 5, I'm giving you 7 things tonight. Identify the resources needed. What do you need to accomplish the goal and task that you're trying to do? If it's college, you might have to look into scholarships. You might have to look into grants. You might have to look at internships. You can't just wake up and go to a Division I school if you're an athlete. There has to be some planning, some preparation, physically, mentally, spiritually. There has to be some work done on the field, the court, or whatever arena you're in. People say, well, God's going to show me favor. Yeah, He is going to show you favor once you do some work. I am not the pastor that's going to sell you some dream that God's going to poof everything into your life. It's not real. That's not how God works. He adds his favor, his power, his passion, his wisdom, his knowledge to those who put their hand to the plow. Make it a modern day scenario. When you start pushing the gas on the car, start moving the vehicle of life, God will manifest the path and the roadmap for your life. So many Christians have been taught, we'll just sit and pray and God's going to make a way. He is going to make a way. And that way is going to be out there alone because we've done no action. No action. Identify the resources needed. What do you need to fulfill your passion, your dreams, your goals? What do you need? Okay? You say, I need money, I need people, I need this. We're going to get in the next part here. Visualize your action plan. Every day, all day, I'm always thinking about Never Alone Christian Center. God, what's next? God, where you're taking us? When do you want me to do this? How do you want me to do this? How long is this going to take? God, I'm on your schedule. What do you need me to do? Am I doing enough of this? I'm constantly visualizing what God wants me to do. God has shown me what my gift is. He's shown me what he's called me to do, but he steadily opens up the vision and feeds the vision and opens it up until it comes to pass. I know where we're going, but now I'm back at the beginning trying to get there. But while I'm trying to get there, I'm still asking God, well, how do we do this? Well, how do we do that? How do we do this? And sometimes God says, do it like this. Sometimes God doesn't say anything. So I just keep working. Until the next wall falls, until the next door opens, until the next person comes and ministers in my life, till the next prophecy comes, till the next time the word is open to me, whatever I have to do, just keep working, visualizing what it is. Through action. And lastly, we have to monitor, evaluate, and update our plan as time goes. Do you know how many times I've had ideas for ministry or had ideas in my career or had ideas in college, and I thought the idea was a sure hit, but it wasn't. I balled it up, tossed it away. You know why? Because I understand it's okay to start over. I understand it's okay to reset. I understand it's okay to refresh the screen, if you will. Because sometimes you need a reset, you need a refresh, you need an update, you need to evaluate your goals, your plans, your blueprints. Why? Because things change. When the COVID hit, the church, who was not functioning virtually, had to reevaluate their plan if they wanted to continue to spread the gospel. Okay? Blueprint for life. A blueprint, a path. Okay? Tonight, I gave you 7 things on we need a plan. Okay? And bringing it to our faith walk. Whatever business you're into, your entrepreneurship, your career, school, or whatever. Yes, I love Jesus, and he loves me, and he loves you, and you're filled with the Spirit of God. And all of that is great. But without a plan, as I always say, is not magic. God gives us a method to do his work. In whatever arena you're in, he gives us a method to do it. Stop looking for the fairy tale wand God to poof things in your life without work. You have to put in the work. All right? So let's wrap it up right there tonight. Listen, thank you guys for tuning into the Faith Unbuttoned podcast. I know sometimes in the podcast I may get a little teachy. That's not my plan, but that's just who I am. At the end of the day, I'm a teacher. But the podcast is an opportunity to bring some very sensitive subjects to my heart that I believe are relevant to everyday life and to your life. And I think that where we are in 2022 is many of us are in this space where we love God, God loves us, and we have passion, we have goals, we have dreams, but we just don't know how to put things in action. So these 7 things are the beginning of creating a plan and a blueprint to do what it is that God has asked you to do in whatever arena you're in. So my final thought is replay this podcast. Grab all 7 of those steps. And I'll give you the source. The source was a business website on Google. 7 steps to create a plan for a business. It's no different for life. Your life is a business. Turn your life into a successful business. Be it a husband, be it a wife, whatever you are, you can be successful with a plan. All right, guys. I'll check with you guys later. Enjoy your weekend. I love you. Let's go.